Hey, what is going on everyone? In the last video, what we did was set up our Sudoku board on the final activity. So this one right here, but if we click it, we can't do anything. So in this video, what I'd like to do is make our tic-tac-toe board a little interactable with the user so they can place in either X's or O's and set up a bit of our game logic. So let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. We can come over to the tic-tac-toe board.java file and we can create two methods that are going to draw in the X's and O's for our tic-tac-toe board. So just past our draw game board, I'm going to type in private void, and then I'm going to call this method drawX. It's going to take in a canvas. I'm just going to call it canvas, and remember, this is just the area of our tic-tac-toe board. And then finally, two integer values are going to be passed into our method. It's going to be the row and column. All right, so I'm just going to copy and paste this drawX method just below it and then change it from drawX to drawo. So within these two methods, let's define the paint color. We could do that by typing in paint.setColor, and then I'm just going to pass in whatever X color we extracted from our XML file. I'm going to copy and paste this line into the other method, but change it from X color to O color. So O color, and now whatever color we set as X, this is what should be painted on the X marker. So let's actually draw in that X marker. So we can do that by typing in canvas.drawLine. And then this is going to take in 5 arguments: the starting X and Y position, the ending XY position, along with this paint object that we created earlier in the video series. The starting position for this first line is going to be column plus 1 times whatever our cell size happens to be. And then the ending Y position is going to be our row times whatever our cell size is. All right, so now the ending X position is going to be the column times whatever our cell size is. And then the last position we have to pass in is the stop Y position, which is going to be our row plus 1 times whatever our cell size is. I'm going to tab this over. And then finally, we have to pass in our paint, and this should be all set up. So paint, and then this should draw in our first line for us. So I'm going to copy and paste this to draw in the second line, and we're just going to have to modify a few of these arguments. We're going to change this first one to a column times cell size. And then this column right here is going to become the column plus 1. So this should draw in our X's, and we can actually test this by coming up to the onDraw. And then after we draw our game board, let's type in our drawX method. And don't forget we have to pass in our canvas along with the row and column that we want to draw our X on. And remember, we are using the index values for our row and column, so 1, 1 should draw an X right in the middle of our screen. So let's come over to our game display, and then what we have to do is define the color for our X marker. Now to do this, we could come just below where we defined our board color by typing in custom :X color, and then we can define a color for our X color. And I'm going to give it a value of red, and then I'm going to change our board color from red back to black. And then if we come over to our design, you could see the board color was updated, but we don't have the X in the center cell. Now, this is because we need to rebuild our project to let Android Studio know that we drew something new on our tic-tac-toe board. So if you remember, to do that, we could come up to the Build tab, all the way up towards the top, click that, and then we're going to scroll all the way down to Rebuild Project, let our project rebuild, and then if we come back over, you should see we have an X on our center cell. Now, the cool thing about this is we can move it around the board. So we could type in a 2, 2 to draw it in that bottom right corner. But remember, we're going to have to rebuild our project. So go to build and rebuild it. And then if we come back over to our design, you can see the X move to the bottom right corner. So that's pretty cool. Now what I'd like to do is draw in our O. So if we come into the draw O method, we could come down here and we're going to type in canvas.drawOval. And then again, we have to pass in our 5 arguments. So for the first one, we're going to type in column times our cell size. And then we're going to do a row times our cell size. And then here's where things are going to get a little bit different. So we're going to do a column times our cell size. And then we're going to add on an extra cell size. And then we're going to do the same thing for our row as well. We're going to go row times our cell size plus an extra cell size. And then don't forget we have to add in our paint object. And then this should draw in the circles on our game board. So let's test this out. If we come to the onDraw, we can type in drawo. And then again, we're going to pass in our canvas along with the row and column that we want to draw our game board. And I'm just going to draw it in the center. So 1, 1. Let's come back over to our game display.xml file and define a color for our X color. I'm just going to copy and paste this attribute here, paste it just below it, and then change it from X color to O color. And let's give it a value of blue. And then again, if we come over to our design, we have no O on our board because we need to rebuild our project. So I'm going to go ahead, rebuild that. And then if we come back over to our design, you can see we have a circle on our game board. Now, one problem with our markers right now is that they're flush with the game board lines. To fix this, we need to add some reduction value to the lines that we're actually drawing in. So let's go back to our tic-tac-toe board.java and actually add in this reduction value. So to do this, for our first argument, I'm going to type in plus cell size times a reduction value, and I found that 0.2 works best. Now, if we hover over this error message, we can see that Android Studio wants a float for this argument, so we can come over and just cast a float onto this. Place this within parentheses so it applies to everything, and then that error should go away. And then we're going to do the same thing for all the other arguments, so I'll be back. All right, so I added that reduction value onto all of the arguments for our draw line method, but I almost forgot to mention that some of these reduction values will either subtract away or add onto this argument. So be sure to note which ones are subtracting and which ones are adding. And then I'm going to come down here onto our draw O and do the same exact thing, so I'll be back. All right, so now that I added the reduction value to all of our arguments, let's come back over to the gamedisplay.xml file and rebuild our project to see what the new markers look like. And if we come over to the design, you can see that they fit much better on our tic-tac-toe board. So that's great and all, but the user can't interact with our tic-tac-toe board, so it's kind of pointless. So let's go ahead and come back over to our tic-tac-toe board.java file, and let's add in some functionality so the user can actually decide where to place these markers, and we don't have to hard code in these values. So I'm going to get rid of these for now. And then just below our onDraw, we're going to override the onTouch method. So we're going to go @override, and then below this, we're going to type in public boolean onTouch event. And then this is going to take in a motion event, and I'm going to call it event. So we can close this off and then hover over this, and Android Studio wants us to suppress this. So I'm going to add that in to make Android Studio happy. And then within our onTouch event, I'm just going to add some code that'll add some basic functionality to our tic-tac-toe board. So the first thing that I'd like to do is grab the X position and the Y position of the user's click. So we can type in float, and I'll just call it X. Set that equal to event.getX. And then we're going to do the same exact thing for our Y, except it's going to be float Y is going to be equal to an event.getY. So these two lines are going to grab the X and Y position of the user's tap, and what we have to do now is convert those X and Y positions into our rows and columns on our Sudoku board. Now, before we go ahead and do that, let's actually make sure that the user tapped on the game board. So to do this, we can type in int action, set that equal to an event.getAction. And then below this, we could type in if the action is equal to a motion event dot action down. Then within here, we want to run the code that's actually going to update our tic-tac-toe board with the marker that the user wants to place in. So let's first convert our X and Y position into the rows and columns. So I'm going to go int row, set that equal to a math.ceiling, so CEIL. And then we're going to go Y divided by whatever our cell size is, close that off. And then Android Studio wants us to cast an int to this. So we can just cast an int to this. That'll get rid of that error. And then I'm going to copy and paste this line just below it, and then change row to column, and then change our Y to an X. So this should calculate the row and column of the user's tap in relation to our tic-tac-toe board. Then we would like to pass either our row and column in either our draw X or our draw O method, but we can't really do that in the onTouch event because we don't have access to our canvas. So what we're going to need to do after we calculate the row and column is type in invalidate, which will redraw our game board, ultimately running the onDraw method again. And then within here, we're going to create a new method called draw markers. And then this is going to take in a canvas. So I'm just going to pass in our canvas from here. And let's come below where we have our draw game board, and we can create the draw markers method by typing in private void draw markers. And remember, it's got to take in a canvas. So canvas, I'm going to call it canvas. And then within here, we're going to write some code that's actually going to scan through our board and determine whether or not we need to place in an X or an O. Now, to do this, we're going to need some game logic. So let's come over to the far right panel, and we could come down to the final folder within our Java folder, right click on that, hover over new, and we're going to create a new Java class. And then I'm just going to call it game logic. and then leave all these fields blank, hit OK, and then you should be presented with the new gamelogic.java file. And within here, we're going to put all of our game logic for our tic-tac-toe board. So first off, let's create a constructor. We can type in gamelogic. And then within our constructor, we're going to populate a 2D array, which is going to hold all the position values of our tic-tac-toe board. So let's come just above our constructor and we can define this 2D array by typing in private int, opening, closing brackets twice, and I'm going to call it gameboard. And then within our constructor, we can populate our game board with zeros, which is going to be representative of an empty square. So we could type in game board is going to be equal to a new 2D array, and then it's going to be a 3x3. And then we can type in for int r equals 0, which is going to be our row, while r is less than 3. And then we're going to do an r++. Close this off. I'm going to copy and paste this for loop and paste it within itself. Change the r to a c. And then all we have to do is type in game board, the row followed by the column is going to be equal to a 0. So this code right here, once our class is created, should populate our game board with a bunch of zeros, which tells our game logic that these spots are available for a user to place a marker. Now that we have our game board kind of set up, how do we get our values from our game logic class over to our tic-tac-toe board class? The way we could do this is by creating a getter for our game board. So if you type in public get game board and hit enter, so this first option here, Android Studio should be able to create a getter method for our game board, and all it's doing is returning a 2D array because that's what our game board is anytime this method is called. So if we come back to our tic-tac-toe board.java file, in our draw markers, we can actually scan through our entire game board, figure out if the position is anything other than a 0, and then draw in the corresponding marker value for our tic-tac-toe board. So to do this, we're just going to need to create a nested for loop. So I'm just going to come back and copy and paste this one. So you guys don't have to watch me type this out again. Get rid of this line here. And then what we need to do is type in if the game, now we haven't defined this variable yet, dot get game board, the row and column that was returned to us does not equal 0. So it's not an empty spot. Within this loop, we need to draw either an X or an O. So before we go ahead and write that code, let's come above and define our game variable. So we could come where we define all these other variables here. Let's come past our paint. We could type in private final, type in game logic, and we're just going to call it game. And then within our constructor, we're just going to type in game equals a new game logic. So this should set up our 2D array. So this one that we created here, all this code should run and populate our game board with 0 values because we should start off with an empty game board. And then what we could do is come down to our on draw and grab that game board, loop through the rows and columns of the entire game board. And then if we find a non-zero value, we can update our tic-tac-toe board with either the X or O. So to determine whether or not we have an X or an O, I'm going to define a 1 as being an X and a 2 as being an O. So if our current game board position does not equal 0, but it equals 1, then we want to draw an X so we can pass in our canvas along with the row and column. But if that's not the case, then it must be an O because we know it's not 0. So we can just type in draw O and then pass in our canvas along with the row and column. Okay, so now that we have our draw markers method created, let's come up to our on draw method and actually place that in. Oh, it looks like we already did that. Okay, cool. So now one thing we have to realize is in our on touch event, when the user clicks on our tic-tac-toe board, it's going to calculate the row and column. But if you think about it, this row and column doesn't do anything. It doesn't update the game board in our game logic class. So we're going to need to come back over to our gamelogic.java file and write an update game board method so that when the user actually clicks a new row and column on the tic-tac-toe board, that shows up in the game logic class. And then that's where we could place in either the 1 or 2, depending upon which player is clicking the screen. But I noticed I did forget to return a Boolean value. So if we do have a touch event and it's in action down, we want to return true. Otherwise, if that's not the case, we just want to return false. So outside of our if statement, we're just going to return false. So that error should go away, but let's come back over to our gamelogic.java class and create our update gameboard method. Come just below our constructor and we can type in public Boolean, and then we're going to call it update gameboard. And then this is going to take in 2 integer values, the row along with the column. And then within here, what we need to do is check to make sure that the row and column that was passed within our update game board method is actually available in the game board. So we can do that by typing in if the game board, the row -1. Now we're going to use a -1 because when we calculated our row and column, it's going to be either 1, 2, or 3, but we need those to correspond to the index values of our game board. So it needs to be from 0, 1 to 2. So that's why we're subtracting 1 from our row, and we're going to do the same thing for our column -1. So this is going to reference the position that the user clicked, and then we're going to make sure that that is equal to 0, and then we can update the game board with the player's marker, either the 1 or a 2. But if that's not the case, we just want to return false to let our tic-tac-toe board know, hey, this spot isn't available. So we could type in return false. And then coming back in here, if the spot is available, what we need to do is actually update our game board. So that's really easy. All we have to do is type in game board, the row -1, the column -1, set that equal to whatever player it happens to be. So we haven't defined this player variable yet, so let's come just below our game board and let's actually define it. So we could type in private int, and what this is going to do is just store whatever player's turn it happens to be. So we're going to go private int player, and then we get set that equal to 1. So player 1 will always go first. And now what we're going to need to do is create the getters and setters for our players so we can actually alternate between the X's and the O's. So let's come just below our get game board, and we can type in public set player. So that'll create the setter for our player variable, and we can type in public get player, and then that'll create the getter for our player variable. And I almost forgot we need to return true in here. And then this looks like it's all set up for now. So let's come back over to our tic-tac-toe board.java file, and then we can actually write the code that can update our game board. So if we type in if the game.update game board, now remember this either returns true or false. So if it happens to be true, then we want to update our game board. Otherwise, we just want the game to essentially halt and kind of wait for the user to have a valid spot. Within our update game board, remember we need to pass in our row and column. So if that's true, we need to update our game board, and then we need to switch the player. So we could type in if the game.getPlayer, so whatever player's turn it happens to be right now, mod2, and then if that equals 0, we need to type in game.setPlayer to game.getPlayer -1. So what's happening here? Basically, we're determining whether or not it's an even or odd number. So if it's player 2 and we perform modulus division on that number, it should have a remainder of 0, which lets us know, hey, it was previously player 2's turn. Now we need it to be player 1's turn. So we're going to subtract 1 from that value. Otherwise, we know that it was player 1's turn. So instead of subtracting 1, we can add 1 to that value. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know down in the comments and I can explain it a little bit differently for you. But all this code is doing is just updating the player's turn. So it's basically what's alternating between player 1 and player 2. So now I believe this is everything we need to alternate between the X's and O's when the user clicks on the individual boxes on the tic-tac-toe board. So let's come up and run the emulator and let's actually test our code and see if there's any errors. So we're presented with our home screen. Let's click play. I'm not going to fill out any of these player fields yet. Submit names, and if we click the center box, we should have an X placed within there. So if we click it, an X was placed within there, so things are looking pretty good so far. Now if we click in here again, nothing happens, which is good. Now if we click another box, let's see if an O is actually placed down, and it is. Okay, sweet. And then if we click here, nothing happens, which is what's supposed to happen because we shouldn't be able to override a player's marker. And then if we click everywhere else, it looks like we're alternating between the different markers. All right, so I think this is a great spot to end this video. Now, before you go, I have a challenge for you. Can you make this play again button work? Now, what should happen when we click the play again button? The entire tic-tac-toe board should clear, so all these markers should be gone, and you should be able to continue to place in markers so you're like playing the game again. Now, try to get this done before I upload the next video. It should be on Friday, and if you're watching this a little bit later and I already have all these videos posted, try getting that done before you watch the next video. You guys have all the tools you need to make this happen. Let me know down in the comments if you get it to work or if you just want some hints. As always, if you guys have any questions about anything I covered in this video, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.